Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, as you all know, training camp has kicked off, and there's a lot of talking points and narratives that will be made as training camp goes through. However, today, I want to focus on one guy and one guy only. I want to focus on the leader of our franchise. I want to focus on the face of our franchise. I want to focus on our quarterback, our guy, one Lamar Jackson. We're going to discuss him today. In fact, I plan to do this with a few other players because 2025 is set up to be a crazy year for the Ravens, and I feel like a lot of things can happen for a lot of players. I want to talk about a lot of players' 2024 season and what we should expect from them in 2025. Players that were on the team last year, as well as players that weren't on the team that could end up being key contributing factors to a potential Super Bowl run. Who knows? But I want to talk about some of these Ravens players and discuss what we should expect or what we should hope to see from them this 2025 NFL season. So let's kick things off with the man himself, the leader of the team, the face of the franchise, our quarterback, Lamar Jackson. What should we expect to see from Lamar in 2025? Well, to start off, we must first discuss his 2024 season. You know, it's been really interesting watching Lamar Jackson's career. It's been fascinating watching the improvement from him. I have seen every single snap of Lamar Jackson's career since he set foot in Baltimore in 2018. And it has been a joy and a pleasure to watch, but it's also been incredible and fascinating to watch this guy's improvement, because one thing about Lamar is that he always improves in some aspect of his game every single year. He comes back the following season improved in something, whether he's improving in his passing, whether he's improving in the velocity in which he's throwing the ball, whether he's improving in his ability to read coverages and defenses, to break down defenses, whether he's improving in his leadership skills. Whatever the case is, Lamar Jackson always improves in something, and that improvement is showcased on the football field on a year-to-year basis. So it's been fascinating watching this guy improve on a year-to-year basis. And I don't know what he improved on, but I can tell you this: Lamar Jackson is going to be a more improved player, quarterback, and leader heading into this 2025 season. Maybe there's something to do with him improving in the playoffs. Who knows? But Lamar improved in something, and it will showcase itself in the 2025 season. So once again, let's go back to that 2024 season like we discussed. Lamar Jackson 2024 was special. He had one of the greatest quarterback seasons we've ever seen. He became the first quarterback in NFL history to pass for over 4,000 yards and rush for over 800 yards and over 900 yards. He has both of those aspects. He also became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 40 plus touchdowns and fewer than 5 interceptions. 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Sensational. Unfortunately, there was nothing that came with it. He got a first team All-Pro selection, but he didn't win the MVP, he wasn't Offensive Player of the Year, and the Ravens didn't win the Super Bowl. So that's unfortunate that a historically great season doesn't have much to show for it in terms of accomplishments, but it is still a season that is up there. It's easily one of his best, if not the best season he's had in his career. I would debate anybody. That was the best season of Lamar Jackson's career by far. He was top 5 or top 10 in nearly every passing statistic. Let me read off his total stats here because I want to give an aspect of what he did last year. Lamar Jackson in 2024 completed 66.7% of his passes for 4,172 passing yards. He averaged 8.8 pass yards per attempt, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a passer rating of 119.6, which, by the way, he led the league in passer rating, and a QBR of 77.3. He also rushed for 915 yards and 4 touchdowns. So over 5,000 total yards and 45 touchdowns. Sensational season from him. Easily the best season of his career. Lamar is in his prime and he is playing the best football of his career. How can he get better than this? What should we expect to see moving forward from Lamar Jackson if he's going to put up a historical season like that? Second year under Todd Monken's system, and the first year with Derrick Henry being right next to him. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as a duo went off in 2024, and now they're back for 2025, year 2. The Ravens offense knows how they want to utilize Derrick Henry. They know how to mix these two together in terms of when they want to utilize Lamar's capabilities and throw the ball and utilize his legs, and then when they want to utilize Derrick Henry to try to confuse defenses. They've got a better understanding of how they want to utilize this duo. It's year 3 in Todd Monken's system, so something is going to be added there. New elements are going to be added there. Improvements on the offensive scheme is going to be added there. So with all of this in mind, what should we expect in 2025? Well, I'll say this. We should expect to see Lamar Jackson be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. I don't know how much better he's going to be because he was already at the top of the top. One can argue over these last 2 regular seasons, Lamar's been the best quarterback in football. It just hasn't led to a championship yet, unfortunately. But in the postseason over these last 2 years, Lamar's been one of the best. Take a look at the numbers. Statistically, Lamar has been one of the best playoff quarterbacks the last 2 years. We just didn't finish those games. We didn't finish and we didn't win. The only game he was poor over the last 2 playoff seasons would have to be the AFC Championship game. He's played 4 playoff games these last 2 years. 3 of them he was great. The one that he was poor was the AFC Championship game, which of course he has to bite the bullet on that one, as well as the offense as a whole. But other than that, Lamar has been one of the best postseason quarterbacks these last 2 seasons. So what should we expect from Lamar in 2025? I keep bringing this up. He was great here. He was great here. He was great here. He was great here. Unfortunately, we didn't win the Super Bowl. What should we expect from him in 2025? Well, from a statistical standpoint, I don't exactly know if Lamar Jackson is going to be able to replicate what he did last year. Hell, I don't even know if he could take it to another level. The Raven fan in me, the Ravens, that biasness that I have as a Ravens fan, which I didn't want to say, but I gotta say, the biasness in me says Lamar Jackson's gonna put up an even bigger historical season. I really believe with the weapons we have, year 3 in Todd Monken's system, and Derrick Henry here for year 2, I think Lamar might get 50 touchdowns this year. I truly believe so. I believe he's going to get 50 plus touchdowns, but that is not something we should expect to see. We should expect to see Lamar Jackson be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. But I don't know if that's going to showcase itself statistically. If you go back to his 2019 MVP season, you would see it was a historical season. The following year, his numbers took a drop off because, again, you're not going to be historical every single year. But if you look at his 2020 stats, you would understand that Lamar was still a great quarterback that year. And in fact, I argue that the 2020 NFL season for Lamar Jackson that year is very underrated, and we don't talk about it that much. He had 43 total touchdowns in 2019. In 2020, he had 33 total touchdowns, 26 passing, 7 rushing. The Ravens were actually in danger of missing the playoffs that year. We were 6-5 at some point. We had to run the table in our last 5 games. We had to win all 5 of those games, including that Monday night thriller against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. If we lost that game, we most likely missed the playoffs. We wouldn't have made the postseason in 2020 with a 10-6 record. The AFC was just that damn good, and the records were so damn close that we had to win out. We had to run the table, go 5-0, and have an 11-5 record to be able to clinch a playoff spot. That's how crazy the AFC was that year, and we did it. And people don't talk about that season. We run the table, we make the playoffs, we face off against the Titans in the wild card round. We're down 10 in Tennessee. Lamar and the team come back, and he wins his first playoff game. We unfortunately lose in Buffalo the following week. We put up 3 points. Lamar got knocked out in the third quarter. It is what it is. But that was a very underrated season from Lamar Jackson. Statistically, it was a drop-off. But Lamar Jackson was damn good in 2020, and we don't speak about it that much. Another thing to bring up, Lamar Jackson's second MVP season was 2023. His numbers statistically, compared to his numbers in 2019, It's not even close. 2019 statistically is better than 2023. But Lamar Jackson, the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, the passer, is better in 2023 than he was in 2019. So what I'm sitting back and saying is that when it comes to Lamar Jackson in 2025, what we should expect to see is a quarterback that is better, an improved quarterback. Maybe not an improved quarterback in his passing, because again, he was top 5 or top 10 in every passing statistic. He's just got to maintain that. If he maintains that, it's all good. But he may be a better player. He may be a better quarterback in terms of being a better leader, and he may be better prepared for the playoffs. This was something we talked about at the end of last postseason. The second half of that divisional round game against the Buffalo Bills was the best we had ever seen from Lamar Jackson. For the first time in his career, he was able to overcome and just shake off the turnovers and actually play the same way he would play in the regular season. That's something we hadn't seen from him, because in the past, when he turned the ball over, he'd kind of lock up, he'd start to press. Lamar Jackson didn't do that in the second half. He played a hell of a second half, and it's unfortunate we lost. But one thing that's going to be lost to time is that Lamar Jackson, with the season on the line, had to drive 80 plus yards on the road in Buffalo in the snow without his two best receivers, because Zay Flowers didn't play and Bateman got knocked out of the game due to an injury. He didn't get knocked out on the field, but he was injured. He wasn't there for that final series. So Lamar Jackson, without his two best weapons on the road in Buffalo in the snow, had to drive 80 plus yards to score a touchdown and get the 2-point conversion to tie the game. He took them down the field in the postseason, something people said he couldn't do. He took them down the field and got the ball to Likely to score the touchdown. It's unfortunate that Andrews dropped the pass, but the pass was there. If Andrews makes the catch, Lamar would have had his legacy drive right there. And it's not going to be discussed because we didn't complete the whole process. You get the 2-point conversion, it's discussed, and who knows what happens in that game. But Lamar in the second half of that playoff game, that was the best version of playoff Lamar we had seen. That right there, that felt like Lamar Jackson we saw in the regular season. That felt like the same guy we had saw the previous week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Lamar Jackson in the playoffs just looked like Lamar Jackson in the regular season. So we're seeing the changes and improvements in him in the postseason. It feels like he's starting to put it together. One thing that I'll say about Lamar is that he always improves in some element. If I had to talk about what to expect from Lamar Jackson this year, that's what I will point on. I'm saying he's going to be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. I think that is going to include him in the postseason in terms of limiting those mistakes. Those 2 turnovers, I don't know if we're going to see that in 2025. I think Lamar Jackson is at this point where he's going to turn the page. One of 2 things is going to happen. Either that moment in the second half against the Bills is the start of something great for Lamar to finally get over the hump, get that monkey off his back, and finally be able to go on a run, or we'll get to the postseason and it's much more of the same. But I feel like Lamar, he's at the cusp of getting to where he needs to get to in the postseason. He's finally at the cusp of breaking free of those shackles, of those previous poor playoff performances. I think he's close. But I don't know. Overall, what to expect from Lamar Jackson? He'll be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. Will the stats showcase that? Me personally, with my biasness, I think he's going for 50 plus touchdowns this year. But I do not know. We've seen historical seasons by quarterbacks, and in the following year, you don't see those same numbers. So who knows what's going to happen? But I will say Lamar will be better this year. The 2025 season, we will see a better Lamar Jackson as a player, as a quarterback, as a leader. And I believe the biggest aspect of his improvement will be how he handles the postseason, because he's so close to breaking through and finally getting that monkey off his back and finally playing the way he's supposed to play in the playoffs consistently. I think he's getting there he's getting very close. He's getting very close to breaking it. If last year was a sign of things to come in that second half, he's going to get it right this year. If it's not, then it's probably just an anomaly and he'll continue to struggle in the postseason. I don't know. But if I had to point at something in terms of what Lamar Jackson can do in 2025, in terms of what he's going to improve at in 2025, it is that aspect of the playoffs. and being able to finally break those shackles of previous poor playoff performances and actually playing consistent Lamar Jackson football in the postseason. We may finally get to see Lamar Jackson consistently play great football in the regular and postseason. Lamar will be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. And we can only sit back and hope that means the Ravens ultimately go all the way and win a Super Bowl. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I just wanted to put that out there. We'll be discussing other players, but with Lamar Jackson, we had to start with him because Lamar always finds something to improve in. And I believe he's improved in something, whether it's his assessment of how he handles the postseason, whether it's his ability to throw or do whatever, I don't know. I don't think there's anything he has to improve on passing wise. Take a look at the numbers last year. I think Lamar has reached a point where he's the elite of the elite of the elite as a passer, and there's nothing he would need to improve on. Just continue to be consistently great the way you already are. So I think what Lamar improved on would be leadership skills and handling the postseason pressure. I think those are the two, but I don't know. Either way, Lamar's going to be a better quarterback in 2025 than he was in 2024. Statistically, it may not show it, but on the field results will showcase why he would be a better quarterback this year than he was last year. We'll just have to wait and see. But that is all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and I am going to head out of here, guys. Be sure to stay safe, and peace out.